YouTube, what's going on? Happy New Year. Let's get right into it. So, um, crypto responsibility, excuse me, crypto and being responsible. I thought about this thing came to my mind when I was watching, some content. Um, just to be, just to be completely honest, just to be completely honest, there's an element of being selfish in crypto. That's just a reality. It's a reality. You know, own your own, own your own, your own. Everything is about your own private keys. Tomorrow is what's deemed to be proof of keys day, where ideally Bitcoin holders and maximalists and people who have BTC on the 3rd of January can take their BTC off the exchanges, and pretty much put them in their own, however they store them, in whatever types of wallets. Cold wallets, hard wallets, you just remove them off the exchanges to sort of prove that you have them. I mean, there's other ways also step further to validate that you have Bitcoin. What's interesting even with that, I listened to a podcast about a year ago, and a person said something that was really interesting in the podcast. I can't remember which podcast, but it was a very good podcast. And the gentleman who was being interviewed or questioned was asked by the host some questions about BTC and stuff. And, essentially, many Bitcoin maximalists talk about why it's important to verify that you actually have the BTC. Downloading the entire Bitcoin blockchain, which takes days if your computers are not, I guess most up to date or most current. Takes a few days to download the entire BTC blockchain. Remember, you're now downloading 11 years of transactions, so it takes a few days. But once you have that, you can use that as a way to verify that you actually own Bitcoin. Just because you leave it in a Trezor wallet, for example, or KeepKey, or Ledger, or Exodus, or whatever wallet that you use, doesn't necessarily mean you have BTC until you take that one extra step and you verify. In other words, you take the stuff that you think you have on your wallet, right? Crazy. And you send it to your node that you're running. And if it comes up on your node, then you have your BTC, rest assured, and you can do whatever you want after that. This process of verification, that's what proof of keys highlights. So that's that. January 3rd. I mean, this was an initiative that was spearheaded by Trace Mayer, and who's a pro BTC advocate person. He's a lawyer. He has a lot of great points and perspectives in how he thinks BTC will pretty much become a powerhouse in the future. So let's move on from that. And what I was thinking about, really, the whole thing, and it ties in with the thing about being selfish, right? There's this self thing going on. At the same time, crypto is supposed to challenge the powers that be, the elitists of the world, the central banks, whatever you want to call them, that run things, especially finances, etc., etc. So crypto is supposed to fight against that, right? Fight against inflation, fight against the fiat, fight against censorship, fight against control. Okay, as a collective, people ideally are supposed to benefit from the blockchain tech. And it's kind of crazy because there are 18 million Bitcoins that are in existence right now. Maybe a third or a quarter, maybe 2/3 of that amount has been lost over the years. People losing their private keys, discarded their Bitcoin. So that lot will never be retrieved again. So you have even less than 18 million that's actually being circulated. On top of that, within whatever's left, you have a huge amount that's been stored in hard wallets, cold wallets, whatever you want to call them. There's even a company that's storing Bitcoin in mountains in Europe, right? Huge amounts too. We're talking hundreds of thousands. Countries like Bulgaria that relinquished, they took upwards of 250,000 Bitcoins, I read somewhere, in a raid that the government conducted. And other countries and other individuals have huge amounts of BTC. So there's really not much that's being, I guess, accessible or circulate. Plus the exchanges. Think about how the exchanges, Binance, KuCoin, whatever, the top exchanges, hold BTC. And so ideally scarcity is supposed to bring value, especially when the demand increases. So scarcity will cause the fiat value of Bitcoin to increase over time. It's this selfish kind of thing tied to that I'm seeing. And I'm not fudding. It's just, let me have my one, let me have my piece, let me have my piece, I need my piece. And then those that hold the whales that hold so many bags, it's just this thing that I see, right? That, again, is pushing people to be greedy, it's pushing people to be tempted to just do other things. I mean, I don't know. I'm just sharing my thoughts. It's kind of, it's just interesting. But content creators who produce material and voice their opinions and thoughts on YouTube, I do it, many others do it, and talk about crypto. Those of us who have families, this is part of why I think responsibility is important, because those of us who have families, I think we have to model a certain level of accountability, because our families can readily see our information on the internet. And sometimes we get caught up in situations that come up, and we become very emotional, and we're charged, and we lash out on social media. And sometimes when we look back, it becomes kind of cringeworthy. Like for me, in some cases, there's material that I've had to just delete and redo because my message gets lost in the feelings and emotions, and that's not the purpose of why I make videos and create content. What I'm saying is, for the individuals, if we're parents and children, we have loved ones who rely on us, who look up to us, we're their heroes, we're their leaders, we're their examples. And then we turn on a camera and we get on social media and pretty much undo all of that, of what they think we are, by the bad stuff that we do on YouTube. That's going against the grain, and that works against us, and that is not cool. Like, I don't think that's good. Those of us who have small little children, they may not know, but if the content remains on YouTube and will forever be in cyberspace, when they become older, they'll see what we've done in the past. And how will they favor? You know, what impression will that leave on them? Those of us who create videos and have been tied to just scandalous material and projects and have developed a negative reputation, and who have families, it's a thing of, please be responsible, because we don't know how these things can affect our loved ones in a harmful way. We don't know to the degree and how severe things can get, because it's real. It's real. It's not hard to find people and look them up. The internet has made it that easy. We've given up so much information of ourselves to social media willingly, to where there is no privacy. No matter how much you want to think that you want to be off the grid, if you just, created an email, that's done. No more grid for you. I mean, no more off the grid for you. If you had, a Facebook account, privacy gone. If you, and you cross promote your information because you have multiple, you have Instagram, you have Twitter, you have YouTube, you have etc., your privacy is dead. There's no privacy. So you're pretty much accessible. And if you're that accessible and your families can see and view you, maybe if we're cognizant of what we're saying, it might help the community more. It might help the families more, because it's about empowerment. If I get on YouTube and I'm arguing with somebody constantly, or I'm just, it's not about, because I really don't care what people think about me, because I'm grown. I don't live for the thoughts of others and what they think about me. But I have to be cognizant of the people who I have obligations and responsibilities to, as far as my loved ones, and understand that I can't be selfish and just think it's all about me, because it's not. In the grand scheme of things, I'm nothing. I'm just a drop in an expanse of water, an expansive ocean. That's it. I'm nothing. So as in that respect, at least the content that I share, I'd like for it to be helpful or beneficial. And for people who I'm connected to, who can see, and maybe they'll get something out of it, maybe they won't. But it won't be something that's going to hurt them because of my transgressions, because of the improper way or the emotional, immature way that I took care of something on social media, an open platform. In other words, if I embarrass myself, let it just be for me. But if I have a family, I have to do better. I have to do better, because how am I representing them? It's not just about me anymore. So I say that to say something that I thought about. I've been very critical, and I might continue to be somewhat critical, but not critical in a way to just subjugate people or to be pejorative and throw insults. I'm talking about being providing constructive criticism to certain people directly, as far as content creators, and I accept it too. I've changed my channel how many times from criticism that I've received from the community. So I'm open to that. But I want it to actually be something that can lift somebody up, or I appreciate to be lifted instead of to be torn down and destroyed. Right? Because these people that I've talked about, a lot of them have families. They have families. And I think, man, what example are you setting? If you're creating a legacy and you want to pass down your legacy to your descendants, what quality of legacy are you leaving to them for them to push forward and advance? If everything you're doing now is not really beneficial to you, to your family, and the community, anything that begins bad ends bad. That's just what I'm saying. That's it. Take care.